All right, great. Hello, everyone. Great to see you all. Welcome in. Super excited about this class. We have a lot of backyard fun shenanigans to share with you and just how to help make your barbecue pop and a little bit of a red, white, and bang. So the way I'm going to do it is first I will share a presentation that gives you information about the projects, materials that I use in the projects, and then I'm going to show you assembly of the projects and walk you through some tips and tricks for the project. So without, I'm going to do it, and I hope I don't go too fast on this part, on the presentation part, but I'm so excited about all of the different projects we're going to make, and I want to make sure that I get to everything. So I'm going to hopefully not go too fast through that part of it, but please do use the Q&A to ask any questions you have. We have Anita from Cricut, and she is the pro. She's my go-to for questions, anything Cricut. So she is a great person to have and as a resource in our class. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Red, white, and bang. I'm going to share with you 5 fresh ideas for a backyard barbecue to work with your Cricut machine. So our first project is working with backyard games. And I just love how you can use Cricut's premium vinyl to give your backyard games a little pop and pizzazz. So if you have a theme that you're going for in your backyard games, now I have made our theme all sort of patriotic 4th of July. I know we have some Canadian up north neighbors joining us, so feel free to change the colors I use or anything to suit with whatever your backyard shenanigans will be. So you can use the premium vinyl for your cornhole games. And one thing I love about the cornhole games and decorating cornhole boards is using the Cricut Smart Vinyl, because you can get the larger than 24-inch cuts. So you can make a cut that goes the entire length of your cornhole board. And then taking any type of 2x4s, or I think these are a little bit bigger, a little bit different size than a 2x4, but I have seen a lot of people make Jenga backyard games, like bigger than your little Jenga at inside games, and embellish those using premium vinyl. In today's class, though, I'm going to show you how to use Cricut premium vinyl to embellish dice so you can make a game called Yardsy. Now I'm using the Cricut premium vinyl because that is specifically designed to be a permanent vinyl. Cricut has a permanent vinyl and a removable vinyl. Your permanent vinyl is water resistant and it's UV resistant. So it's going to last outdoors with a lot of use for quite a while. I actually have planters that I've had outside for over 4 years now, and they're still going strong. So your premium permanent vinyl is ideal for your outdoor projects. It's really easy to weed and very easy to apply. So the project we're going to make with our premium permanent vinyl is this Cricut Yardsy, and it's so cute. I can't wait to get to this one. This will be the first one we do. Now I do have a project in Design Space. So if you want to, I'll show you once we get into Design Space how to find my profile and all my projects. So I do share with you a dice dot layout to make it super easy, so you know where to put the dice, to put the dots on your dice game for Yardsy. So that's our first project. Then our next project is the labels. Label everything. I always joke around. I'm like, if you're moving or you're sitting down, you may end up with a monogram before the day's over. So use labels to create information for your guests who are at your barbecue. You can label your beer, your glasses. I love this here for the beer one. I thought that was super cute. But you can label your food. If you're having a hamburger stand, you can label what cheeses will be in the hamburger stand. and you can label your drink containers. You can just really label everything, and it really helps your guests know where to find things. So our second project, I'm going to be using Cricut Smart Paper Sticker Cardstock, and this is an adhesive-backed cardstock. It's a paper, so it works really great with the Cricut pens. So you can draw your labels and then slap everything together, and it makes putting together your buffet super quick and easy, your drink station, a s'more station, wherever you need to let people know what is what. We're going to cut it, we're going to peel it, and we're going to stick it. So you can end up with a great buffet markers like these. I love the ketchup and the mayonnaise dishes in the mason jars. So super easy to do. Now, the next project we're going to do deals with setting the table so that you really get the theme of your barbecue to go throughout your entire area, your entire backyard. So you can use the stars to create a table runner. This one was made with fabric, and you can cut fabric on both your Explore and your Maker. With your Explore machine, you would just use a backing on your fabric, a stiffener to make it stiff so that it will cut. But with your Maker, you could use the rotary blade and cut out your fabric on the Maker without having to use a stabilizer. But what we're going to focus on are these cute little star designs to use for a centerpiece. And I'm going to show you how to do that with Cricut Glitter Cardstock and Cricut Cardstock. So the glitter cardstock really does add a little bit of glam to a party, and a little bit of shimmer. Popping a little bit of glitter in with the regular cardstock really is a fun way to just jazz up a party. So I'm going to show you how to make these little stars on a stick so you can make them in a centerpiece. And you can always add different pieces to this. So if you do like some gold and silver stars, and then you can reuse them for an Academy Award party if you wanted to, just add a few little statues in there, or a birthday party and add some balloons in there. So your stars can be used throughout the year for different seasons, different holidays that you see fit. So we're going to use this project here to make some centerpieces for your backyard. And I added the little lighted up that I'm going to cut out of vinyl and apply to the mason jar, and then add the stars to it. Now, our next project is getting everyone in the family coordinated with a family t-shirt. So you can use the same design throughout the entire family and resize it so that it fits everybody from toddler up to extra, extra large, or you can give everybody a different t-shirt with the same theme. So lots of great t-shirt projects within Design Space to work with. And I've made a really simple one for USA. Now, I'll be using Cricut Everyday Iron-On, which is super versatile and works well with all different types of materials. It also has been tested to go through 50 washes, so it really will really last the test of time. My kids, when they were little, used to outgrow their shirts before they would outwear them. So I'm going to show you how to layer with Everyday Iron-On, as well as a top layer of foil iron-on, and I'll be using my auto press to do that. Now, oops, got that in there. This is our project, and what I'm going to show you how to do is to layer your iron-on, not only with the actual physical iron-on project, but how I made this USA and got the little staggered look there. It's a very retro look for me. I love that one. Now, what do you do as the sun goes down on your barbecue? You've got this beautiful, your buffet tables set up, your picnic tables are all set up, and the sun's starting to set, but you don't want the fun to end. So your creativity can go into the sunset and a dark night. These are some projects that are in Cricut Design Space. The pinwheels are so popular and very easy to make, and they just are a really nice of an embellishment to any event. And I thought this was a really fun way to display your sparklers if you're going into the night. But what I'm going to show you, and I don't really have pictures of it, are these buckets that I'm attaching lights to that really light up the area. So if you have a pool or you want to light a pathway, this is a super fun way to use a bucket and some permanent vinyl again, and display your lights outside. And this is one of my favorite projects. So we're going to save this one for the last. And I don't think I got a picture of it to put in this yet. So this is the image we're going to use for the light up project bucket, the 4th of July, Independence Day. And this was a really easy image to work with because it uses 2 colors, and I was able to layer the vinyl on the project. So you'll get the idea of how to layer your vinyl with the iron-on, and it's the same technique whether you're using iron-on or our adhesive-backed vinyl. Now, as Jimena said at the beginning, we would love to see your projects. So make with us at Michael's. I'm sorry. I forgot the hashtag. I know one of our hashtags is Cricut with Michael's, and that is a really great hashtag that gets both your Cricut eyes and your Michael eyes. And then you can find me on Facebook with Kesley Anderson and Instagram at kesley.365. So we would love, love, love to see your projects. Now, don't forget this class is being recorded. So I know I kind of went through that a little bit quickly so we could have more time to spend on the projects. And so you'll be able to go back and kind of review through that. Now, why don't we go ahead and jump into Design Space, and I'll start showing you some of the projects that I made. So let's just share my Design Space with you.
So Kesley, just wanted to let you know that I have put the hashtags in the chat for everyone to see.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What is just so I can remember, what is the Michael's hashtag?
It's Make It with Michael's and Michael's Classes. Those two.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So when you go into Cricut, your Design Space, this is the software that communicates with your cutting machine. And this is kind of where all the creativity happens. Every user has a profile, and within your profile, you can make and share projects. So all of my projects from today's class are shared in Design Space. And these are all some of my different projects I've done. But here are the 5 different projects we're going to work with today. And if you'd like to find those projects again, you can do a search for my name, Kesley, and follow me. And then you would see all of the other projects I've made and easily find these projects. So you just would type in my name, Kesley Anderson, in Design Space in the home page here under the universal search. Keyword search, you can just type in my name and my profile should show up. Now, I know that this works on Design Space in your desktop. Some people have had trouble on a laptop or mobile device, but on your desktop, you can definitely find me and find my projects that I've shared with the community. So you can grab those on out. And if you scroll down, here's my community member profile. And then that will get you to my profile and you can just follow me. And then you'll find all the different projects I have to work with. So the first project is the Yardsy dice project. And let me grab that so you can see what I've done. So let me just let me go to our big screen here so you guys can see. So this is Yardsy. And Yardsy is like Yahtzee, but you play it in the yard with these oversized dice. Each of these is 3.5 inches. And this was, I found these at Michael's in the wood section. So these are 3.5 inch die. And then I found this adorable tray and I didn't take hold on. I thought I took the sticker off, but apparently I didn't. This is a tray. It's called a plaque and it's 20 inches by 5 inches. So my 3.5 inch die fit absolutely perfect in the tray. And I left my space here open because I couldn't decide if I wanted to put our family name on here or Yardsy, or really get detailed and put the instructions for how to play Yardsy on the tray, so that I would have this in a backyard area to play with. Now, I did paint my cubes. So these were all just a little whitewash paint, so the wood still shows through. And then I added permanent vinyl dots around the die. So what is always hard to do, I find, when I'm working with the die, is how do you know which dot goes where? Because there is a specific way to lay out your dots for your die, the dots for the die. So what I did, so I'm going to switch this over to my overhead so we can, when I get there, we can see that. What I did in Design Space to help everybody out, and I'm going to share my screen here, is I created a template. Now, my template is 10.5 inches by 14 inches. So I cut this out of 12-inch by 24-inch paper using a longer mat, and I cut it out of cardstock. Now, if you only have a 12 by 12 mat, that's okay. You can still cut it in 12 by 12, and then this last little 2-inch one you would cut on a separate mat. And then I have a set of die dots that are just a little bit smaller than each circle. So when I go to make it, what you would do is you would cut out, let's see, and I'm going to cut it on multiple ways, because one, I'm going to use the 12 by 24-inch mat. So that's how that cuts out. And I cut that out of paper. And then the red dots I cut out of the permanent vinyl. Now you use 5 die, so you need to increase your projects by 5. So to do that, you just go up to the project copies and say, I'm going to do 5 of that project, and you click apply. And unfortunately, it does do 5 of your templates. You really only need 1 template, but then it gives you 5 of the sets of dots to work with, and you cut those out. So I have gone ahead and cut these out so I could show you how to assemble. So I have one left undone, and I'm just going to go to my overhead. And guys, if you have any questions about this, please do drop them in the Q&A, and I'll be happy to answer them as we go along. So here is the die I used, and I have already cut out, I used the red permanent vinyl. I used this premium vinyl here, and I cut out the dots. Now, once I've cut them out, I just weed off the extra vinyl that I don't need to use. And then we go like this. Okay, so now I have my 21 dots to use for my die. And I'm going to take this is my paper template, and my scoring lines are all in the project. So I have my scoring stylus I put in my machine, and then I scored those lines. And then I just take my painted square and put that in the center, and I close up the sides so I can see where my dots are going to go. So I just start with one side. So if I start with the 3s, I would just take my little red circles and put them right in the center of each dot there. Now my circles are just a little hair smaller than the cutout. So, so it fits, I don't have to worry about, getting it onto the paper. It fits right onto the block itself without getting on the paper. And if it does, that's okay. You can just pop that out. So you just work your way around the cube and hold your paper template in place. If you wanted to, you could add a little painter's tape to the side. So mine is opening, but you could just add a little painter's tape to it so that you make sure everything stays together. but we're just going to add these on here. And then for the game boards, you can, lots of resources online for the Yardsy game boards, how to keep score of the game. And so you can just, I would go online and print off the PDF document on how to keep score, but it's just like regular Yahtzee. Be good to have a little extra helping hand here. This is a great project to do with your kids also. Let them put the dots down as you work your way around. Oops, I forgot to paint that side. All right, I'm not going to put those down, but here we go. My 6 and my 2 can go down. And there we go. And I was thinking that if you wanted to, you could even take a firework vinyl design and put that on as your number one, just to go with your backyard barbecue theme of red, white, and bang. You could just add a firework on there. So this is your Yardsy, and this is our first project here. So you can take all kinds of backyard games and customize them. You could add your family name. Instead of dots, you could add your family monogram or your initials. If you're giving this as a gift to somebody, you can add initials to it. But it's super cute. And if you can't find the tray, this is also great to put in a bucket and have outside for people to use. And you'll find people get all kinds of creative with the Yardsy. But there we go. And I have to paint that side. Guess I missed it. But that's our first project, and that's the Yardsy. And now you can just set that out. Really looks cute on a table by a fire pit or anything like that. So that is a super fun project. And again, all you have to do is go into Design Space and find the project. Rose, that's a great question. Do you cover it with a sealer? You can certainly cover it with a light coat of Mod Podge if you wanted to, but with the permanent vinyl, that's gonna last. And I think keeping it wooden, it does, your permanent vinyl is gonna stick a little bit better. But if you wanted to coat it, what I would do is after I paint it, then I would put a sealer on it and then add my vinyl dots on top of the sealer. So then that way, you're sealing in your paint, but you're not sealing in your dots, because those dots are going to stay for you. Using that permanent vinyl, those are going to stick around for you. Great question. Thank you. All right, so now let me go back over and go back into Design Space, and I'll show you our next project we're going to make. So all I'm just going to do is cancel that, and I'm going to go to my projects. And we're going to work on those buffet markers. Now, these are great. So here's, when you find a project that you like, you can just click on the Make It icon here, and it'll go right to your machine. If you want to customize it, you click on the Customize button. So if you wanted to go in and let's say you were using this you wanted to do cupcakes, like a chocolate cupcake, a vanilla cupcake, maybe you have gluten-free cupcakes, you can simply go in and change the wording on the star to be, whatever you wanted to say. So instead of cheddar cheese, you would just highlight that and change it to gluten-free. So you maybe have gluten-free cupcakes or something that you're serving, and then you would just want to make sure that the text was centered on the star. So you select both of those layers. First, we have to detach. And then we're going to take our text and the star and align those to the center so that now is centered on the star. And then you have to reattach it. And attaching your text to the shape ensures that that writing is put in the center of the star. So if these were my table markers I was going to do, I'd go ahead and say Make It. and this would send it to my machine. So first I have my first layer will be the white sticker cardstock I'm going to use with a pen to write those out because maybe your handwriting's not the prettiest, so you want to have something there. And then I'm going to layer it with red and I'll layer it with blue. So let me go ahead and let me do, let's go ahead and layer it. So we're going to start with our white layer. And on this layer, I'm just going to browse all materials because I'm using that smart cardstock. Now, if you have a Maker or Explore, a Maker 3 or an Explorer 3, you can just put that paper in. You'll see I'm going to put that, my smart paper sticker cardstock. I'm just going to put that in without having to use a mat. And let's see if I want to make sure I did that on the right materials, which I didn't. So my white paper, I'm going to browse all materials and I just select sticker cardstock. So I have all these different types of sticker material to use, but I'm using the smart paper sticker cardstock. And then when I use my red and my blue, that will just be regular cardstock. So I've got this one set up and I'm going to go ahead and it's ready to go to my printer. Ready to go to my machine. So I'm going to stop sharing there and we're going to come back over here. And let me grab so I'll be using the blue mat because that is the mat for paper when I get there. But for using the sticker cardstock, I can just load this right into my Maker 3. Now, if you have a Maker or Explore Air, you can still use the sticker cardstock paper. You would just put it on the mat. So you would just use it with the mat instead of using it on just without the mat. So the beauty of this is that it does save a little bit of time. And if you have a whole lot of if you have a whole lot to work with, then you want to be able to kind of go through that quickly. All right, so I'm loading that in and I'm going to go ahead. Oops. What did I do? Sometimes. Okay, let's see. I've got my pen in there. I'm going to load this in. Let me go ahead and load that in. There we go. Okay. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. You know what? Let me show you. I'm getting an error on my machine because it's saying I need a longer than 12 by 12 mat. And I marked this as cutting it on the mat, but actually I'm going to be cutting this off the mat. So I just need to change that so it's without a mat. My white is going to be cut without a mat and then change the right material there. So let's see, I'm using smart paper cardstock. Done. There we go. Now it's going to do it for me. All right. So the smart paper cardstock is really fun to use. I'm just using the black glitter pen, but if you wanted to get fancy, you have a lot. I have this big selection of all the different colors I could use. So I could use, a red or a blue pen to write out my design. I just chose the black glitter pen to write this. And I could change it. You could change your pen color for each star, depending on what you're working on. You can completely change that around. So while that's writing out, I will be getting my cardstock set up so that I can cut that next. So my next layer, I'm just going to take a peek at my design space and see what my next layer will be. So my next layer is the red paper. And for this, I just chose to use regular red cardstock from Michael's, and then I'm using the blue light grip mat. Now, I use the blue mat as the Lycra mat, which is great for your cardstock. I try not to use my green standard cutting mat for cardstock because it's got a little bit of good stick to it. So you want to hold your paper in place, but not too much. Okay, so there's my designs. Now they've written it out and cut it all at once. So I'm done with my pen, and I'm gonna unload. I've unloaded this, and then I go back to Design Space, and let me share my Design Space, because what happens now is I'm selecting the material for each next color. So I'm going to use the medium cardstock for the next one. And this time I'm going to remember the material settings, so I don't have to come back and choose my material settings for the next round. It'll just remember, okay, she's doing that on cardstock. So I've got my red on my Lycra cutting mat, and I'm going to pass that through. And then you can see these are just going to pop right onto my stars. Now, I do use these picks here, those wood craft sticks, and I'm just going to grab my glue gun, and I should have had this heating up, but I'm going to use my glue gun to adhere those onto the sticks, because my now there is colored the sticker paper. You can get it in red and blue, so if you wanted to make it all with the sticker cardstock, you absolutely can, and you'd have the white, the red, and the blue. I just did my white, and then I used just some of my cardstock I had in my stash, which is always good. I always love to be able to go to my stash of supplies and grab my materials. Now I'm going to use my blue here. And this is a printed cardstock, which, believe it or not, this is from more of a holiday set of cardstock. But again, you go into your stash of supplies, and I'm always amazed when I find things that work. So, yeah, I thought I had pulled this one out so you could see which group this was from. Okay, let's go ahead and get that one cut. Oh, here it is. I did pull it out. This is the deluxe paper. It's called Maud and Mary that I'm using. And again, it looks like it's very holiday, but it had this pretty blue and white in there. So I thought, how perfect to use for my theme. So sometimes we forget to go into our stash of supplies, especially, finding something that's a different holiday was really fun. Okay, so now that's cut out. Let's pull that out. All right, beautiful. So I've got my blue stars and my red stars and my white stars are all ready to go. And then to assemble them, so my blue is going to be the middle. Let's see, I'll have the red and then the blue, and I'll just take my labels here and I'll add that. Now, if you wanted to, you could also write on cups and make stickers with everybody's name to go on a cup if you wanted to. But I just have that. Now that goes on my blue. And I use the offset feature. So I put a star on my canvas, and then I use the offset feature to get the star to go bigger and bigger each time. So with my stick here, I could put it in between the letters, the layers there, or I could, if you used your sticker paper throughout, then that would just stick onto there. Your blue would stick on. Let's see if this is all working for me here. So I can just put a little bit of hot glue, and you can use any kind of glue. Like you could just use your paper glue. You could use 3-dimensional foam dots if you wanted to get a little bit of extra extra dimension. And then if, depending on how you're using it on your table, you could just stick your wooden dowel, your wooden stick here on the back side of your star and leave it like that. If you wanted to and hide it, then what I like to do is grab these little 3D foam dots. And you can use really almost any 3D foam dot. And I'm going to just put this on the sides here so that it keeps my next star, it keeps that dimension between the paper and where the stick goes. So it doesn't get sad in the middle there. So we'll just put another little dab of hot glue there. And then I'll attach my star on and I'll put it like that. So now I have my star has a little bit of dimension, and no matter where it goes on my table, you'll see a cute little design on your table. And then you just keep building those out. If you only want to do one label, you can just take your star that you've added or whatever shape you're using, and you could just put that right onto the stick like that and put it on. And then you just would put if you wanted to use a third color, a second color, we're just going to put that right on there and not use any foam dots, but use the adhesive to stick it together like that. So that way you don't even need any glue. You just pop it together right there, and then you have a fun pattern on the back. If you wanted to, you could add another color on the back if you wanted a different pattern. So you really have so many fun options, and it just uses these wood craft sticks and cardstock, and then the Cricut sticker paper cardstock, which I gotta tell you, I just love how easy it is to use this to get something written out that I don't have to worry about having my handwriting. If I'm in a rush and my handwriting's not looking that pretty, I can just have my little design like that. And this is also really cute if you were doing any goodie bags that you wanted to do, like with the sparklers, say light up the night and attach a little sentiment to a goodie bag. This is a super cute way to do that. And then you could just put a little string on it and pop it onto a goodie bag. So that's how super fun, easy way to carry your theme throughout, from your buffet table to goodie bags. You could even wrap up your silverware, your utensils with a napkin, and then use the sticker cardstock paper to just put a little thank you for coming, or a happy 4th of July, or whatever sentiment you wanted to put on there, happy birthday, you could just pop that on there and then add that to your paper. And it's just a real simple, easy way to give a little bit of a pop. Now, our next project is very similar. I have my bucket. So I have little buckets of all the different projects set aside. So I just pull over a bucket each time I change a project. This one is also a cardstock project. And you may have seen these awesome, colorful mason jars at your Michael's. I just am in love with these. I couldn't wait to use them. So this is just the blue one, and I have the lighted up design to put on the mug itself, and then some designs to go inside. So these are little 3-dimensional stars. And I actually didn't put this together with the hot glue gun. I'm going to show you how to put one together using the hot glue gun. And I'm also going to cut one out of glitter. So we'll have some fun with that. But it might be a little hard to see with the camera. Let's see if I go close like that. Okay, see those lines in there? Those lines are my scoring lines. So when I put the star in the machine, it automatically did the scoring lines for me. So when I get that 3-dimension there, I just have to fold along the lines, those score lines. You just fold along those lines. Some fold up and some fold down. So the long ones fold up. That makes sense. Like they fold upwards towards the ceiling. And then the shorter ones on the side fold down to give that 3-dimensional look on the stars. And you can make these stars as big or as little as you'd like. So if you wanted to you could make really big stars. You could make one big star and then lots of little stars in the middle. So we're going to start off with the little stars, and then I'll show you the project, and we will make it enlarge the star. I cut it out of glitter cardstock. So this is just regular 80-pound, 75-pound cardstock. Lots of fun colors you can do. And again, like you could do these with any theme. So like my red ones, my red and my white ones during the holidays, you know, maybe I would pull those out, or the blue ones and make light blue ones. You can really have fun with it. But to put it together, all I'm going to use are these dowels. And the great thing is these dowels are pretty tall. So I love that. And we're going to put a dowel in the center here and then attach the star around it. So let's get that dowel in the center. There's a bit of glue there in the center just to put it together first. So we're going to start with that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of the hot glue gun on the inside of the star, hopefully on the inside, so that I can, it's kind of like on the inside and the edge. And you may find it easier to do this with just regular liquid glue, so you can really get right on the edge. And again, this is a great project you can give your kids and have them do it with Elmer's glue, so you're not using a hot glue gun. And I just piece these back together. Probably be easier to show you with the hot glue gun using the bigger star. And now we're just going to piece these back together. And let's just do a little bit of dip in there. And the great thing about the hot glue gun is after you're done with your project, you can always do a little cleanup of the little strings that kind of tend to hang off your hot glue gun there. Okay. So we're just going to go through all those different parts. And one more little spot here. Open up like a little birdie mouth. Put your hot glue in there. And then once you're done, you can just, any wisps that you have left over, you can just take those off. Those will come right off like that. So you just make a bunch of those in the smaller size. And then we're going to add a big one. So let me go into Design Space and I'll show you how I do that. So let's see, let's go back in here. Now this is, do this one. I'm going to say done. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my projects and we're going to find the big star, the star centerpiece project here. And we're going to make this. Now this time, because I've got my small stars done, I'm just going to take one of these stars and I'm going to make it a bigger star than the smaller one. So let me customize this. Okay. And I just need to take one of these and make it bigger. So you can see I've got 3 here and they're attached together. So I just have to detach those and I'm going to hide this one because I'm not going to cut that one. But this one I want to cut so that it's a really big size. Let's say if I want to do this 5 inches, oops, 10 inches, then that will give me both stars. Now let's make one 6 inches and the other. So we'll make them both 6 inches because you need your front star and your back star. So you have to cut it out twice. So I get the front and the back of my design. Now this is the lighted up vinyl. So I'm going to leave that on here too, so we can cut that one out as well. Okay, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut out the star twice. So I'm going to hit continue. And I'm going to show you how to layer the vinyl using the iron-on. So we get that project done. I don't want to skip out on that project because that one is fun. So I just look for my materials and I'm going to be using a glitter cardstock. So my material I would look for is cardstock. And I'm using the glitter cardstock. Let's see. This is pattern glitter cardstock right here. So I just click that and I add that to my materials list. And it tells me to use the scoring tool in clamp A, in clamp B, and then I would cut it and then swap out for the scoring blade. But I'm going to go ahead and use the scoring stylus on this. Now, if I use the double scoring wheel, that would be great because that would definitely be a, that would give you a nice deep cut there. Let's just grab, go. I've got some of the glitter cardstock here. And I'm going to use, now for the glitter cardstock, I do use my standard grip mat. So it really holds that paper in for me. And if you were on a maker, I would recommend to go ahead and use your scoring blade, the scoring wheel, or the double scoring wheel, because it'll give you a little bit more score, if that makes sense, on your project. But I want to show everybody how you can do it also with the scoring blade here. So we'll go ahead and fill that in. Now, while that's cutting, and we're talking about layering, I have our fourth project, which are the T-shirts. Now, I've used the iron-on vinyl I'm going to use, and you'll see that the design, this is my top layer here with the USA, and then I have my layers below it. Now, what I'm going to do is be positioning these. Oops, let me stop sharing here. I'm sorry. What I'm going to do is position my designs down and to the left to sort of give a shadow. You can see a little bit better on the red design here. So we're just going to line up the tops of our design and move it down to the side. And each layer I put on will add a little bit of dimension to my design. And I'm just going to keep adding onto that layer and doing like a drop shadow. So I'm dropping it down and to the side. So my first layer will outline my layer and then it will do a drop shadow. So we'll show you how to do that. I've got my bigger star is cut there, and I just pull this off my mat, and I'm going to do another star. So we'll have that. I think that will fit on here. Let's see. So I'm going to add this one onto my mat here. For the next one, I just have to go and pick my material. All right. So here we go. Glitter cardstock. All right. Edit my tools. I'll just be using the scoring stylus. So you can really see how that stylus scores on your material. So you can really see those score lines, and then you just fold on the score lines, and the glitter cardstock folds so nicely once you've scored it. So we're just going to score along those lines. Okay, and then I just press those in like this. Now, I'm sorry to be so multitasking on you guys, making all these different projects at once. I really just thought it'd be fun to show everybody all the different things you can create with your machines.
Kesley, can you turn the paper over so that they can see the other uncut area?
This side here?
I would assume that is what they're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So with the way that this, I have my cardstock, my glitter cardstock turned up, so it's actually scoring on the glitter side, but you can't, so you won't really see the score lines on the back side. I'll show you on the next one. You won't really see those score lines on the back side. All right, so let's unload this one. And see how I take that paper off. Now, when I turn this over, oops, I bent it. When I turn that over, you won't see the score lines there. But when you look at the front side, you can see the score lines. So I just fold it on the score lines, and I can see that on the front of my paper here. I can see those score lines. So I hope that answers that question. All right, and then you score some up and some down. It's like for some reason it reminds me of like a little crab here. Going up and down like that. Okay, so now I've got my 2 stars that are scored and ready to go. And we're just going to use the hot glue gun and glue those together. So I just will put my stick in the middle here. And actually, let's see, I can do it like this. Let's do it like this. So I get it on the part that's coming up instead of on the down part. You know what I mean? Like, so that one's coming out of the design like that. Then I'm just going to, on the tips of each one, add some glue onto the tips of each one here. And on our base here, I'll add that in there. And then I'll pick up my second one and sandwich those together. So just line these up. And if you wanted to, you could just do it one tip at a time and put the glue onto one tip as you go around. I just did it all I just went and did it all at once. So probably would be easier to do it one at a time. There we go. So now I have one big star. Kind of does look funny coming up on the side like that, but actually it might look cute with your little stars coming in like this. And now don't forget, like I got these little mason jars to put these in. I put a little bit of tissue in there and then pop these on in there into the mason jar with the lighted up design on the front. It's super cute, but you can also use these on cakes. So if you have like a cake for your celebration, then you can put that in with your cake for your celebration. Really, like, lots of fun ideas there. Okay, so now let me go to the 4th project, which is the T-shirts. And I've got my, let's see, I'm going to switch between my 2 cameras here. So you can see I'm using my auto press for my T-shirt. So I've got this is in the back and it's been heating up. And what I want to do is go to the Cricut heat guide to determine the heat that I need to have my auto press set on. And this is what I want to show you is so great because it takes the guesswork out of what you're trying to create. So all I have to do is go online here and I pick the auto press machine I'm working with. I pick the different materials. So I'm using the Everyday Iron-On and I'm using a cotton T-shirt. It's 100% cotton T-shirt and I'll be using the mat to apply it. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that. And it tells me it needs to be at 315 degrees for 40 seconds. Now I am layering my vinyl. So the first step I'm going to do is take my T-shirt and I'm going to give it just a little kiss to kind of heat it up. So I'm just going to put that down. I've got my machine is already heated up. So I'm going to put it down for about 5 seconds. And then I just lift it up. And now my shirt is heated, is all heated up. Then, okay, so now I'm going to come back to my overhead. And I'm sorry, guys, I have to go back and forth. All right, so I've got my shirt here. And I have in my design space, my little T-shirt template here. Now I've cut out my design already and I have my pieces all queued up and I'm going to do it in the red, white, and blue theme. Red's going to be red, white, and blue. Okay, so my red is going to be the first piece I put down. And I'm just going to fold it over and find the center and using my template guide here, put that on the center of my shirt. Okay, now once that's on the center of my shirt, you do want to heat it up and then you let it cool peel. But since I'm doing so many different layers, I've got 4 layers I'm working with. I'm going to just do it for probably, Anita, what would you say, like 15 seconds to heat it up and be able to take it off?
I
Or
would
would you-
do about 10 seconds max
10
per
seconds.
layer, so
Okay.
that you're not overheating, over processing, which will cause cracking of the vinyl. And it could also make it so the bottom layer will lift if you overheat too much.
Okay, so we're gonna put it back in the auto press. And see, that's why I love having Anita around. She gives me all the good advice. 10 seconds, I push it down, it goes. Now you can do the same process with any of the easy presses, as well as your home iron. You just go to the heat guide and it will tell you how much to heat everything as you go along. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back over here and we're gonna let that cool for a second. While that one's cooling, because you want to peel.
Kesley, you do
Yeah.
want to warm peel that.
Oh, you do? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
See, so good. So glad you're here. Let me go back over here so everyone can see. So I'm gonna give it that warm peel.
And they do need to be very careful with peeling it. If it is starting to come up, they want to try from a different angle, but try not to repress unless you absolutely need to, so that you do have, all you're doing is you want to activate that glue to adhere, but not set the glue.
So we just want to kind of wake it up and say, yoo-hoo, we're here.
Yes.
So now I'm going to put that other layer down. I'm putting it back under my auto press, my 2 fingers, and it's going down. Okay. And it's great because sorry, I'm not switching between my cameras, but I don't have to change my settings or anything. I just keep working that away. Now there's what Anita was talking about. So it started to come up there just a little bit. So I'm going to take her advice and go at a different angle where everything has stayed down. And I'm just going to peel that right off. So
Perfect.
Yeah, that looks great. So then this one, we're going to put this guy down. And you can see I'm letting my colors kind of peek through where I want them to. And I don't want it to get crooked. There we go. I'm going to put that down again, and I'm going to put that in my machine. Okay,
And then on the last layer, you want to give it the full time, which I believe is 15 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
So do you subtract the amount of time you've used already?
No,
No.
you do that last layer for full time. And then with the metallic, because that's your top layer,
Mhm.
you do not want to, you don't want to peel that until it is perfectly cold.
Okay. Ooh, that's hot.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's perfect, because then I'll give you a minute to talk about my last project. So here's my metallic, and that goes on here. So that's my last one. And the great thing is with the auto press, you have this little mat that you can take on and off the clamshell. So let me go back to this video here so you guys can see, because you have the auto press opens up really wide. So I can actually get really in here and make sure I have all my placement is good. I'm happy with how it looks. I forgot that was going to be the outline layer. So I readjusted it and I'm putting in there, and I think I need it says 40 seconds or 30.
Let me look real quick. I did
Okay.
not have that brought up.
Okay. So now I'm going to put on for 30. We'll see. If I need to, I can put on for 10 seconds more. Okay, so while that is going, and because we're going to let it cool off before I peel it, I want to show you our last project. So this is one of my favorite things. These are just white buckets, and you can use any kind of white bucket. You can find them at Home Depot, at Walmart. You can find white buckets at Michael's, not with the lid and things like that. I like the lid on it. Is it 30 or 40?
I'm looking right now.
Okay.
It was 30 seconds, so you did it right.
Yay, how about that? All right. So this is in Design Space. This design is in Design Space, and I just used 2 colors of vinyl. So you would layer your vinyl just like we did the iron-on. You would put the blue layer on and then your white layer on. What's really cool about this idea is like when the lights go down, you still want the party to be going, the barbecue is still going, maybe it started late. So online, you can order these little light up lights here. And I can sneak around and turn off all my lights. Let me see if I can do it. So you guys can see this really fun effect. So when it's late at night at your barbecue and you have your little lights, you can, oh, that was bright. You can turn them on, but what's really fun, these little lights, you can get them all to change color at the same time. So I can change them all to red. I don't know if you can really see it very well because it's so bright, but you can change them to different colors. And then when you put them in your bucket, you put them all, get them all to red. I have a little bit of Velcro in the bottom of my bucket here, so I can attach my light inside my bucket. And then I put the lid on it. I'm gonna hide these. I put the lid on it. And you can just put that outside. So I don't know if you can see. So this is it without the light. This is it with the light on. So that's off and now it's on. And you put that outside by your Yardsy, by the pool, by your barbecue. You can change, you can use removable vinyl if you want. And then that way you can change this up for birthday parties, you know, whatever. You can put pumpkin faces on it for the fall and turn your light to orange. The light has, you can change the colors. So you can really just change it up. And if you wanted to do like fall, you could do orange, you could do blue, you could do red, you could do white, whatever color you want. But it is so fun. And you just add that little bit of Velcro on the inside. Oops, that light's pretty bright. But see, I've got the Velcro on the inside. My light goes in there, and then I have this remote control that controls that light. So you can do it anywhere in the yard, and it really lights up your party. Okay, so I think let's go check our T-shirt and make sure that it is, let me go switch it back over to my overhead camera here so we can peel our last project. Here we go. All right. I have all my lights on underneath me. They're bright. Okay, so this is the last one, and it definitely has cooled off. So the great thing about using the adhesive vinyl is you don't have to wait for it to cool. And I just peel this off. And there we go. So I don't know if you can see how shiny and fancy that is.
Just to let them know, if they do hot peel the metallic vinyl, it will wrinkle and give it a different look.
Yeah, mine is wrinkling because I didn't let it cool enough. And so it's got like a textured look to it, which I gotta say I don't hate.
I have done that on purpose before. So
that is cool. I like it. I love it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the holidays now. All right. Are there any questions that I didn't answer? I know we're right a little bit over time, so I just want to make sure, Anita, were there any questions that I can answer that maybe we didn't get to that would be good?
No, several did want to know the links to the projects. I did put them in the Q&A, but I don't know if that comes over on the recording.
It doesn't come over on the recording. So let me go through that one more time and I'll show everybody how to get the links. And again, I think it works better on a desktop or your laptop version of Design Space to be able to follow people. I've tried to do it from my phone when it first came out and I wasn't able to get the follow button. So you definitely want to look it up on a desktop or laptop, and then you can save the project. So when you've completed a project in Design Space, you can, if you take my project and you customize it, you can always go back in and save it. So you can just, you just go back into the project. Let me back out. So when you go to customize my project and you cut it, then you go up to the save icon, and this will let you save that project for, for yourself. You just rename it and you save that project. I do try and put my project names with my name on it, my class projects. So they'll say Kesley Star Centerpiece or Kesley, whatever the project is. So from the home screen, if you do a keyword universal search for Kesley, Kesley, make sure you spell it right, Kesley. It'll come up with some of the projects I've created and shared. So my Kesley Star projects will show up. And then down in the community members, you'll find my community member profile, and you can click on that and then follow me, and you'll see all my projects. And so when I do new projects, you'll have access to my new projects too. So you'll never miss a project. And then if you want to find me on Facebook, Kesley.365, or Instagram, this is the profile picture and it matches. So Kelly's asking, where did I get my bucket? My bucket came from a local like hardware store. So I would check like your Home Depot, if you're in the States, your Home Depot, or your Walmart might have it. Actually, I think Walmart is probably a universal. So Walmart might have it. It's just a big bucket. I was trying to see if I could see how big it is. It's called Encore Plastics Corporation on the top. And then the lights I got from
They're
Amazon.
usually 5-gallon.
Yeah, they're really big. So it's food grade, so you could put food in it if you got desperate. Put your drinks in it. How fun would that be to put your drinks? And the lights are water submersible. I thought I'd use them in the pool. So you can put this in the bottom of your drink bucket and then say beer, soda, water, whatever you're serving. So that's,
if you could answer Vicky's question, that would be great.
Yes, I like the project for the cornhole bowl. Is that in Design Space? That is in Design Space. I'm not sure where in Design Space. I would look up cornhole project or mountain project, like in the project. So if you're looking for a project, again, let me share my screen real quick. If you're looking for just a project, a Design Space project that anybody made, you would just go and maybe type in cornhole. And there it is right there, Mountain and Sunset Cornhole. And then there's also a football cornhole. And so you can click on that project and then you can customize it, or you can make it just from that project design. How do I find the bucket project on Design Space? That was, that's a project that I made. So to find that project, just go to my profile, and I have my projects here. And let me make sure I've shared that out with everybody. So when you make a project and you want to share it out, oops, I didn't make that public. So let me make that public. This was the Design Space design I used, and that is your project. So if you make a project in Design Space, absolutely share it, save it, let everybody see what you're creating. All right, awesome, guys. Thank you so much, Amanda. I do apologize for going over today, and I look forward to seeing you guys with your projects. If you post them on any social media, please use Cricut with Michaels so we can see what you're making. We want to see what you're doing. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. Have a great week.